In 2023, the United States saw a staggering number of criminal offenses, surpassing 11 million reported incidents. Property crimes accounted for 7.51 million of these, while violent crimes made up 2.23 million. 10. Corpus Christi, Texas. Corpus Christi's total crime rate is 68% higher than the national average. This means that residents are more likely to experience crime here compared to the rest of the United States. On average, there are 34.05 crimes reported per day in the city, with 6.88 being violent crimes, and 27.16 being property crimes. The violent crime rate in Corpus Christi is 68.3% higher than the national average. This means that residents are more likely to be victims of violent crimes. In 2022, there were 3,512 violent crimes reported in Corpus Christi, translating to a rate of 1,091 per 100,000 residents. The property crime rate in Corpus Christi is 39 per 1,000 residents, meaning a 1 in 25 chance of becoming a victim. This is significantly higher than the national average of 18.9 per 1,000. 9. Springfield, Missouri. Springfield, unfortunately, bears the burden of a significantly higher crime rate than the national average. Springfield's overall crime rate is 172% higher than the national average. This translates to 50.44 crimes per day, on average, with 9.6 violent crimes and 41.84 property crimes. Missouri's overall violent crime rate is 1,690.2 per 100,000 residents. Springfield's violent crime rate is 283.4% higher than the national average. This means a 1 in 62 chance of experiencing a violent crime. Property crime rates are also noticeably higher than the national average, 151.2% higher to be precise. This translates to a 1 in 16 chance of experiencing a property crime like burglary, theft, or vehicle theft. Larceny theft and motor vehicle theft are particularly prevalent in Springfield. 8. Salt Lake City, Utah. Salt Lake City's crime rate is around 80 per 1,000 residents, surpassing the national average of 23.3 and Utah's average of 27. This means residents are statistically more likely to experience crime compared to the rest of the country and state. Salt Lake City's property crime rate stands at around 7,000 incidents per 100,000 residents. This translates to a 1 in 14 chance of becoming a victim. Motor vehicle theft in Salt Lake City has one of the highest rates in the nation, making it a significant contributor to the overall property crime issue. Compared to all United States cities, Salt Lake City generally has a higher violent crime rate. Sources like Neighborhood Scout estimate a rate of 80 per 1,000 residents, putting it among the top 100 most dangerous cities. 7. Bakersfield, California. Bakersfield's total crime rate is 94.4% higher than the national average, meaning you're roughly twice as likely to be a victim of crime compared to the rest of the United States. Both violent and property crimes contribute to this, with violent crimes 75% higher, and property crimes a staggering 103% higher. In 2022, Bakersfield's rate of violent crime stood at 993.1 per 100,000 residents. This translates to a roughly 75% higher chance of experiencing a violent crime in Bakersfield, compared to the average American. The likelihood of becoming a victim of a violent crime in Bakersfield is roughly 1 in 100. Bakersfield experiences a property crime rate of 4,572 incidents per 100,000 residents. This translates to a 1 in 22 chance of falling victim to a property crime. This rate places Bakersfield among the worst 10% of all United States cities reporting crime data. The city's property crime rate is 94.4% higher than the national average, and 103.3% higher than the California state average. 6. Shreveport, Louisiana. Shreveport has a complex and concerning relationship with crime. Compared to the national average, Shreveport's overall crime rate is roughly 98% higher. This translates to a daily occurrence of 32.79 crimes, 9.02 of them violent, and 23.77 property crimes. In 2022, there were 2,771 violent crimes, and 8,923 property crimes reported in Shreveport. This results in crime rates of 16.62 per 1,000 residents for violent crimes, and 49.88 per 1,000 for property crimes. Property crime is much more common than violent crime, with burglary, larceny, and motor vehicle theft being the main concerns. The chance of becoming a victim of property crime in Shreveport is 1 in 20. 5. Little Rock and Conway, Arkansas. While both are situated in Arkansas, Little Rock and Conway present contrasting pictures when it comes to crime rates. Little Rock's crime rate consistently surpasses the national average. In 2022, its total crime rate stood at 59.83 per 1,000 residents. This translates to a roughly 112% higher chance of encountering crime in Little Rock. Violent crime accounts for a significant portion of Little Rock's concerns. The city's rate of 9.76 violent crimes per 1,000 residents is nearly triple the national average. Property crime, while lower than violent crime, is still significantly above the national average at 47.07 per 1,000 residents, compared to the United States average of 23.17. Larceny and motor vehicle theft are the main contributors here. In stark contrast to Little Rock, Conway's overall rate of 50.54 per 1,000 residents in 2022. Conway's violent crime rate stands at 6.43 per 1,000 residents, almost double the national average. 4. Lubbock, Texas. Lubbock's overall crime rate is significantly higher than the national average, exceeding it by 124% according to Area Vibes. This translates to roughly 47.62 daily crimes per 100,000 residents. Both violent and property crime rates in Lubbock surpass the national figures. The violent crime rate is particularly concerning, standing at 1,563 per 100,000 residents, with a 1 in 65 chance of becoming a victim. The overall property crime rate in Lubbock is about 4,535 per 100,000 residents. That means nearly 1 in 21 people in Lubbock become victims of property crime annually. A major concern, with Lubbock recording a staggering 761 stolen vehicles per 100,000 residents, one of the highest rates in the country. Lubbock ranks among the worst 10% of all cities reporting crime data. 3. Albuquerque, New Mexico. In 2022, Albuquerque's total crime rate was 62 per 1,000 residents. This translates to a 1 in 16 chance of becoming a victim of any crime in Albuquerque. Albuquerque's violent crime rate is particularly high, with a rate of 2,344 incidents per 100,000 people in 2023. Albuquerque's property crime rate is 4,996 per 100,000 residents. This translates to a staggering 1 in 19 residents being a victim of property crime annually. This rate is 145.4% higher than the national average. Albuquerque has one of the highest rates of car theft in the nation. Breaking and entering into both residential and commercial properties is another notable concern. 2. Anchorage, Alaska. Anchorage paints a contrasting picture when it comes to safety. Nestled amidst stunning landscapes and boasting an adventurous spirit, it unfortunately grapples with a higher crime rate. In 2022, the city's crime rate was 2,056.5 per 100,000 residents. According to data from 2022, Anchorage has a violent crime rate of 1951 per 100,000 residents. A resident of Anchorage has a 1 in 50 chance of being a victim of violent crime. Statistically, you have a 1 in 19 chance of being a victim of property crime in Anchorage, translating to 51 incidents per 1,000 residents. Poverty, unemployment, and income inequality play a role in property crime rates. It's important to note that crime rates can vary significantly within Anchorage. Some neighborhoods are much safer than others. 1. Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis has an overall crime rate of 95 per 1,000 residents. This translates to a 1 in 10 chance of becoming a victim of any crime, either violent or property related. The city's violent crime rate is 3,221 per 100,000 residents, placing it within the bottom 10% of all United States cities reporting crime statistics. This means a 1 in 30 chance of experiencing a violent crime. As of 2023, Memphis has a property crime rate of 8,166 incidents per 100,000 residents. This translates to roughly one property crime for every 12 people in the city. Property crime rates in Memphis have been steadily rising since 2016, with a particularly sharp increase in the first quarter of 2023. Crime rates vary considerably within Memphis, with some neighborhoods experiencing significantly higher rates than others. Researching specific areas is crucial for accurate risk assessment. Poverty, economic inequality, and lack of opportunity likely play a significant role in Memphis's crime rates.